And here we are with the awesome figures. We have She-Hulk, the man called Nova, and Ultron. Damn it. First things first, we're going to open She-Hulk here. This is a dope figure. I remember when they introduced the first iteration of this, it was the gray one with like all the scratches. I wasn't as crazy about that because I know that's like a newer design of some kind, but I haven't really been reading those comics. I love how she looks on the back. She's extra freaking jacked here. But yeah, she looks like a total badass. Jennifer Walters mutates into She-Hulk, a massive muscled green hero with boundless strength and the will to do good. This squirrel. I think this figure looks beautiful. There's got an angry head and sort of this calm head, which is really cool. A couple interchangeable hands. It looks like they've kind of fallen out there, but that's okay. I'm gonna crack this chick open here, and we can kind of get to it. I know sort of more in the more recent comics, She-Hulk's kind of gone through a couple little changes and such. There we go. I'll just do the painful part. All right. Oh man, she is awesome. Oh my god, they did such a cool job. And oh man, like look how much they can bend at the elbow. This is great. That's one thing that a lot of the sort of female molds that they've created is they haven't been as well articulated. But this one, they've been doing a really good job. They finally figured it out somehow. But look, you can actually like bend past to 90 degrees, which gives so much more possibility for posing and expressions. And I noticed the Storm figure also was designed with some pretty nice bendable elbows. So they've been getting a lot better at the articulation. Like this is definitely like some of the best work that they've ever done. Like this is a beautiful figure. Like, they really captured her likeness. I personally yeah, I'm not as big a fan of the sort of rage induced more simple-minded She-Hulk they've kind of been doing recently. It's sort of like it's more of like the Hulk thing. And I kind of, one of the things that was cool about She-Hulk and that made her more distinct from Bruce Banner's Hulk was that she retained retained her intelligence and just kind of was a little bit more had like an extreme amount of confidence and stuff. Like one thing that these like Hulk outs are like tend to do is they sort of make all your personality types extreme and stuff. So like Bruce had like a lot of rage obviously within him and sort of kind of blinded him in a lot of ways. But I don't know, later iterations of Hulk, especially like the Endgame Hulk, Hulk Dub was a really cool character arc for him and the Hulk to eventually like put their differences aside, right? And for She-Hulk, I mean, she can have her own set of issues that she has, but I like that she retained her intelligence. Like she's this really smart lawyer, and then she was like really sexy and cool as well. And then just making her just like a mindless Hulk, it just kind of makes her seem like a Hulk clone, And I didn't like that sort of more recent depiction of her. This looks really cool, like her torn clothes, like she's got like the sort of torn I guess like pantsuit or whatever, dress pants, and she's got the white shirt. But this is a very, very posable figure. Like damn, like they did a really good job, and the sculpt on this thing is amazing. The color is just like so vibrant. Just really happy with this. Yeah, these scale really, really well with each other. I'm really impressed. The colors too, like I like that she has more of this like cool sort of almost mint green, and then the Hulk has kind of this yellow tinge to him where he's just almost like irradiating, from his like kind of rage that he's got going on. And I thought this is really cool design, and also like giving her like the black pants too, which kind of, you can picture her having hulked out from like her like dress clothes from being a lawyer, where you have Hulk in the purple pants. So she's not just like an absolute clone of the Hulk. She has like sort of different looks and stuff, and which I really dig. Now this is my original She-Hulk from the A-Force box set, which is a really dope box set. Some really like quality figures came out of that with some dope accessories. And so this is a really good iteration of She-Hulk as well. I thought they did a good job with this figure. The colors were really bright, and the costume is like crisp. The white is very crisp. Her joints are a little loose, I'd say, and the arms, I think I wish they sat just a little bit lower on it too. But One thing I was hoping to do with these figures was to do some maybe like head interchanging and stuff, but the head on this She-Hulk is a little bit smaller than the head on this one, so that kind of does stand out a little bit, and also the color of the hair is quite different as well. So it's a little bit harder. I wouldn't be able to kind of change these for the expression stuff. I mean, I can swap the heads out right now just to see what that would look like. Yeah, I mean, this looks okay, right? Like the color of the green is even a little bit off too, which is a slight bummer. But I think depending on the kind of lighting you use, like you could probably still get this to work for both of them, to be honest. And depending on like the sort of pose that you might have them in. But I actually think that the head on here looks actually pretty decent. Yeah, I think the black hair on this one actually does kind of fit pretty nicely, especially with like the darker pants. Like that palette is actually quite nice. And but damn, like the cheekbones and on this one, she's so cool. Like, she's got such a cool demeanor. But yeah, like I said, I wish these arms were just a little bit longer. I think that was a bit of a design flaw in the original sort of set, but I think that you can definitely get away with this though. Depending on the kind of lighting that you use for your pictures. But it's fun to kind of experiment and mess around. And I gotta say, this angry She-Hulk head is excellent. When it comes to like these head swappings, like sometimes it just feels like a must, you know, because having like sort of a calm face and then the enraged face is just so nice, and having those two different options, especially with the crazy hair too, like, you know, flowing like that, like it's just such a nice touch and gives so much more playability within it, you know. And I think we're definitely spoiled these days with Hasbro. Like this is definitely like the, you know, the golden age of Marvel Legends collecting, right? This is the time. This is definitely the time. Like I can't imagine it getting any better than they are right now. And I feel like a lot of that is in due part to their commitment to interacting with their fans the way they've done. Like they've built such a good community. The YouTube sort of Marvel Legends collector community sort of kind of built this like grassroots movement, which the Hasbro company is just like any smart producer of anything definitely has to keep a close sort of contact with the fans. I think comic books originally were like that, where you'd have a letters page at the end of the comic book, so you'd be able to get direct feedback. And I think that's basically partly why they've improved so much, and I think why they've, you know, so many people are buying them now. You're just getting like tons and tons. They're probably getting tons of money from these figures now too, which all that money, the more you buy it, the more they can improve the figures themselves, because they just have more money to deal with, right? So it's really cool what they've done with the fans. I don't know, this is really growing on me. I think that looks really good, actually. Yeah, the posing on this is so incredibly dynamic. Like this is pretty much what you want when it comes to articulation. You know, they've got all the basic stuff here, and to really accentuate the figure, you can make some awesome poses. But I just love these. I think these are like these stack up really well together. I could definitely see, you know, she could hold her own a little bit against her cousin and hopefully calm down before the end of this massive brawl. I really hope that they produce some more side characters. Like they've been doing really well with the Spider-Man side characters. You got J. Jonah Jameson, Mary Jane, Gwen. But what I'd like to see is a Bruce Banner figure, you know, with some cool maybe like interchangeable hand on one side where it's like hulking out, and maybe the head, and then give him maybe some science equipment, maybe a lab coat that can come on and off. I know they just gave that to the new Reed Richards figure, so it's definitely in the books. They can definitely make that happen. And I'd love for there to be a Jennifer Walters figure, or Rick Jones, Betty, a General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. I think those would be really cool figures, especially the Ross figure, because you could army build that, you know, have different generals and army characters, so you pop off the head and stuff. So I think I'd love for them to come out with some more side characters. I think like Peter Parker and Hulk have some of the most famous like side characters in the Marvel universe. I mean, it would be cool to have like a comic-based Pepper Potts as well, and maybe a comic Jarvis. But that's kind of my sort of on my wish list. I can see the Jarvis happening. They already have the the tailcoat from the Hellfire Club. So I can see it happening. You give all these characters cool accessories, right? Like, they haven't made an official Tony Stark figure either, but that would be cool if they came out with something like that too. But you know, you can already just do some head swaps or something like that. But definitely a Bruce Banner figure would be a must. Oh man, actually, I think this Rage head even looks even better on the costume body. So it's cool to have the option now for me to have the superhero costume She-Hulk. I've got freshly transformed, sort of busting out of her work clothes outfit. And then, like I said, I think it'd be dope if Jennifer Walters came out as well. Damn it, the furnace! I'm shooting down in my furnace, so I've noticed that that's been a sort of a challenge for me shooting down here. Is I have to compete against this furnace, so every half hour it turns back on. I have to take like a 10-minute break from recording. So sorry about that, gang. Oh yes. Every time I talk about the Hulks, I always have to bring up the 1990s Incredible Hulk cartoon, season 2, when they introduce the Grey Hulk and She-Hulk and they become main characters, and I just love Leader is just this super genius who just had, you know, doesn't have a clue, and yeah, I always just like the dynamic between the shows, and I thought that like She-Hulk was just really cool in it, and Grey Hulk was just like this crafty, like fun character too, with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. So I always liked that. I wish I had a Gremlin figure that you know, the Gremlin figure that came out years ago is really hard to come by. But if they ever came out with one again, I'd pick it up in a heartbeat, because I'd love to do a stop motion one day, sort of an homage to that. And I think if I do a solo Hulk outing, I will probably do some Grey Hulk and She-Hulk related stuff, and of course I'll bring in old Jade Jaws for a piece like that. But yeah, these two really scale well. The gray, it just complements the green so nicely, and yeah, just like I want to build out my Hulk universe, you know. And so I hope they do release some of those more supporting characters. Definitely a Rick Jones, at least, like Rick Jones and a Bruce Banner figure. Those are what I'm really banking on. Killer abs. We got Nova here. I've had this figure for quite a long time now, sitting in the package. I got it initially. Not sure if I was gonna hang on to it. I was thinking I might end up selling it, but I think as time's kind of gone on here, I've kind of learned a little bit more about the character and his relation to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm definitely sold on him. He's a classic. I have this like mural, or this poster, and it's like my favorite poster that I have for classic Marvel, and kind of dictates sort of why I sort of like the classic costumes in the first place. But he's definitely on that poster, so I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't get him. But for cosmic characters, I'd love to collect there's a certain few. Like I kind of want to get the Super Skrull still. Like that's a hard one that I've been trying to find. I've been wanting to feature a stop motion with him, and not being able to find him has been a bit of a pain in the ass. I definitely want to get Gladiator too, because I have that Lilandra figure and I have some flashback scenes in mind. And of course, the Silver Surfer, which is near impossible to find. Oh, and Adam Warlock. That's another one that I'm definitely trying to zero in, especially the one with the costume that kind of matches the Guardians. I just want to build out that team a little bit, you know. And they just announced Eyebrows as the new Adam Warlock in the next Guardians, so we'll see how he does. Like I've seen some of his movies, and I'm kind of on the fence about him, but you know, depending on how he rolls in this Marvel movie, I might actually I'm open to seeing him in a role that I actually might like. But anyways, Marvel's Nova, chosen by the last surviving member of an elite intergalactic defense force, Richard Rider ascends from humble origins to continue the battle as Nova. Sick box art. Yeah, I really dig that a lot. But let me just peel off the tape here. I don't even actually need, I always was using a cutting tool to open this up, but realistically it's not that hard to just peel back the tape here. Oh man, this box is not being preserved at all. That's okay. I've committed to this figure. I'm not gonna be getting rid of him anytime soon. Wow, oh man, look at this backdrop. That is so cool. I always dig these backdrops. They've been like really upping their game with these like cardboard backdrops, and I keep these. I definitely like, I don't get rid of them because I think they're radical. Like they've definitely I've definitely done some cool stuff with that. Got a little stand here that fell right out. But here comes the painful part. Oh. Okay, got him in hand. I really dig this. He kind of has a similar design to Judge Dredd. You know, he's got these like big, sort of, you know, thick boots, and obviously the helmet, minus this star. Which this star, very crisp, very sharp. Damn. And sort of utilizing these shoulder pad things. They've definitely got this down to a science. Like, this is so good that you can still retain all this range of articulation and have these shoulder pads. And same with the Ultron figure, has like the similar deal. They've mastered it. Like, there's so many little things that they've mastered, and they can kind of reuse and reproduce on it with different figures. Like, I just wish DC had like the level of detail that they could have in their figures as these. This dude is epic. The gold is very eye-catching, and like the strip down the leg, like I could see this. Like, he looks he's very sporty, you know. He's like the Adidas like strip down one leg. I haven't really read too many comics with Nova here, but I have a feeling he's gonna be a big player in sort of the upcoming MCU stuff, so I definitely didn't want to pass up on him. I know that the Nova Corps has already kind of been defeated, so I'm wondering if his introduction might be sooner than later. And then there's this little guy, which I think represents the sort of AI that kind of inhabits the armor or the helmet or something here, relating to Nova. I think it's like the accumulated knowledge of every Nova Corps member that it had existed before they were all decimated. So here's a little cool little Herbie style floaty head thing. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I like these. These are definitely like, it reminds me, it harkens back to sort of old school science fiction-y stuff, you know, this little thing flying around being his little information bot or whatever. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I think he makes a great addition to my Guardians of the Galaxy cast. I think that I've got some cool ideas for sort of some short stop motions. I don't know if they're going to be long ones like my other stuff, but we shall see. Oh, there goes the furnace again. Yeah, I gotta say, this mold is really cool. I think it must be similar to the Ultron mold. I mean, minus the different chest piece, right? But I mean, it's definitely new boots. We're not really seeing the Bucky cap mold, any of those pieces here. It seems like a pretty brand new. I'm not sure where it first was released, but I really dig it. I think it's a fresh one. If you guys know in the comments where this first initially used, like, let me know, because I really dig it, and I think we're gonna see a lot of cool figures on this mold. I just wish DC would kind of come up with a standard sort of like this as well, you know, where you could fit a lot of characters on the same mold. And I wish they would go with the 6-inch scale, because I just can't get with the 7 inches, man. Like, it doesn't fit the scale with most other figures that I have. So it's just, I really hope they get with it one day. But at the same time, then I don't want to have to split the cost of my stuff. And I've sort of fallen out of DC quite a lot. But I mean, it's not like I've been reading Marvel comics as much recently. I picked up a new Spider-Man issue recently, and you know, it was okay, but like I'm more interested in going back and reading these like old school stories these days. Let me know if you guys know any interesting Nova stories, so I can get a little bit more into this character. I think the design is rad, and the figure itself is cool, and I know he's sort of similar, like the idea was similar to like the Green Lanterns Corp, where it's sort of like this police for the universe, but the character itself is a little different because he's sort of the last of this police force, and he's got like the combined knowledge of them all. So but yeah, whatever story you guys, if you've read any by this character, so yeah, comment below and give me some suggestions. And last but not least, we shall get ourselves situated here with the Ultron figure. Yes, this is awesome. Okay, so robot maniac genius science experiment gone wrong. Ultron is the supreme weapon of mass destruction and a mortal threat to the Avengers and all humankind. Oh, yeah, pretty sick amount of figures here in this wave. Probably not going to complete the Build-A-Figure. Not as interested in getting those Russian superheroes, just because I haven't really had much experience with them in the comics, and yeah, and it's a lot of figures to try and collect Crimson Dynamo and this Bear character, and that old Red Guardian figures, like going for way too much money. So, but I probably will pick up the Stealth Iron Man from this wave. I'd like to build myself sort of like a humble Iron Man collection. But I'm going to work on that. Might pick up the modular, not sure yet. I'm not as crazy about that particular design for his armor. Might go back and pick it up one day, but we shall see. I sort of want to collect like different armors that I think Iron Man might use in conjunction with his like classic armor, you know, like he has like armors for like different environments. Like he has like a space armor, which is like the Silver Centurion armor kind of occupies, and there could be like an aquatic armor, which I've seen pictures of, and or magma armor, or for having to do stuff around volcanoes or fight some lava. Anyways, here we go. I digress on that point because now we have Ultron, and he is out of the main box. I really dilly-dallied there. That's okay, because now we have this thing open, and we are ready to take a good look at Ultron. Basically, let's see how he is. Let's take a good look. Okay. Man, is he this awesome chrome? But okay, we're just gonna get through the painful part. Oh god. Damn. Okay, so here we have Ultron out of the package. First off, he seems pretty smooth. He's almost got like a sort of that slimy sort of feel when they freshly come out. They kind of have that oil to them. But wow, is this really cool? Such a clean figure. Like just stands out. It's like a very striking figure. And of course they got the classic armor like down really well. Oh my god, this looks so cool. He's already in a cool pose. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like they've done it again, of course. And I love the comic-based versions of these figures. Like this definitely screams sort of 60s, 70s automaton robot creation, you know, Metropolis style. So I really dig this. Oh man, the head is so creepy. Man, I love that. That is so cool. Let's see, has such attention to detail. Damn it. And solid articulation too. Like he's got such a wide range for this diaphragm joint. I actually really dig diaphragm joints, you know. I think for Ultron this is like the perfect amount of space, but yeah. And of course you can probably get him in flying poses and stuff. Alright. Wow, that is just excellent. That effect is so cool. You gotta love these Kirby O's, you know, or Kirby bubbles, or Kirby dots. Forget what they refer to them as. If you guys remember, comment below, because yeah, these are so sick. I really dig these. It's a nice little touch for an effect, you know. I gotta mention, if you haven't watched What If, I recommend going and checking out that on Disney Plus right now, because it is excellent. It's an awesome ending. I'm gonna actually give you guys a little spoiler warning right now because I want to just talk about it briefly. I gotta say, I think my favorite episodes were probably that Doctor Strange episode. Super dramatic, sort of very Twilight Zone-esque, and I liked how it had that sort of cautionary tale ending, if you will. And then zombies, of course. I love the zombies episode. You know, they definitely did some nice like odes to the original Marvel Zombies, and which I thought was really cool. A lot of little things within that. Spoiler warning, like I said, if just in case. There's the part where T'Challa is like found with his like leg like being chopped off and slowly being eaten to keep Scarlet Witch. Like that was straight out of the original series, with Hank Pym cutting pieces off Black Panther. It's so cool that they did that. And so that was just like the beginning of like the details in which all those different episodes, and then of course ending with Ultron as this like multiversal powerful, like if Ultron won and he got all the Infinity Stones and he just like got this cool cape and just kicked the entire universe's ass, and
and it just kind of gave him another spotlight because he was such a cool villain, and just to see him like get another just to give us another shot at seeing him and his full power and possibility, it was just so cool. Such a cool show. Anyways,
Yeah, this is definitely what I'm talking about here. You know, in the original when they introduced Ultron into the MCU and had it and had Tony Stark be sort of the main creator of Ultron, I sort of thought it was a bit of a bummer to kind of take that away from Hank Pym, Yellow Jacket, Giant Man, Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man, whatever, from the comic books. But I think the way they sort of spaced out all the timing and the different sort of shifting some of the ages of the characters was a really cool idea, and fitting everything into the universe. So I think I slowly grew to kind of love that choice made by them. And I think Ultron, based off of Tony Stark, is pretty hilarious because he has like sort of that that wittiness that Tony Stark had, whereas like all comic book Ultron just seems to be this like this repressed sort of like nerd character, you know, sort of like it's kind of because he's supposed to be like the dark aspects of Hank Pym's sort of like psyche. But yeah, I think both are cool, and a lot of the stuff that the MCU has done is really good in my books. Like they've really they've improved a lot of the original stories, and they've kind of fit a lot of things into a more cohesive way, while still like respecting the source material and giving us kind of a lot of Easter eggs and things from the comics. So yeah, I think I would definitely army build this Ultron figure if I could. Having at least 3 of these, I think, would be enough to, in a stop motion, have it appear to be like just armies and armies of these guys. But we shall see. It's you know, Legends these days here in Canada, they're like $33 a pop, so it's like 30 to 33, or you know, so it's you know, it adds up after a while. But I'm definitely happy to at least have one of these, and I would want to take Ultron away from, you know, anyone else who would want one. So, and for anyone who's wondering, this is the hand from the Cyclops figure from the Dark Phoenix Cyclops 2-pack that came out. It was like a Toys R Us exclusive, but the color matches Vision's yellow. His yellow matches Vision's yellow perfectly, so I managed to just kind of use the hot water trick, and I've been able to swap out the hands. So now my Cyclops has 2-fisted hands, which is cool, and I got this cool, this sort of, you know, finger hand that I can use for Vision, which is a cool little thing. Like, I think I've been experimenting a lot with hand swapping these days, and it's been been able to make a lot of cool poses and refresh a lot of figures that I've had for a while by being able to switch out the hands. It's such a cool thing that Hasbro has done with these Legends, is making the heads and hands all sort of interchangeable. It just adds so much more playability. You can tell that Stanley was really inspired by a lot of that early literature, sort of that like the proto sci-fi, you know, where you have like War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells, Robert Louis Stevenson, The Invisible Man. Like, I think a lot of these stories definitely inspired the early years of Marvel, and even probably DC. So, and I just really love the sort of allegories to Frankenstein's monster for Ultron, where he's like this creation of science, and you know, he creates himself a bride just like Frankenstein did, and I always thought that was like a really cool connection. One thing about Marvel is and like the early days of their writing, and a lot of the initial designs for these characters, you can tell we're just totally inspired by kind of literature that Stan Lee was probably reading as a kid, where you have Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which definitely inspires like characters like Ultron and like the Hulk, and also Machine Man, one of my favorite old school sort of curvy era characters. I just love, he's got sort of like Inspector Gadget powers, and I think later iterations of his character kind of draws from sort of Bender as inspiration. So he's like loves drinking beer, and he's a little bit of a shit talker, and just an all-around badass. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching another awesome Winworthy video. This was a really fun unboxing, some of the coolest figures that I've gotten. Ultron is just excellent, She-Hulk is beautiful, and Nova is just badass. So I'm just so excited to have these figures, and I thank you for, if you've gotten this far in the video, for watching. And you know, comment, let me know what you guys think of these figures. If you want them, if you agree that Hasbro should put out more side characters like Rick Jones and Betty Ross and Pepper Potts for comic-based characters, just like they did for the Spider-Man line, then what other side characters would you guys want them to produce? And you know, like the video if you like the video, ring the bell if you want instant notifications for my videos, and subscribe if you love this. Blah!